I got your wig, ho. Ha ha. You're mad. Miss Wikiana. Miss Wikiana.
It's been such a dramatic season. I'm curious if we could set some intentions. Tamara, it was interesting to hear what your intention for tonight was. I would love for Shannon to hear what you told me.
Yeah, I want to talk about why I was hurt by what went down and hope that we can get to a common ground. We don't have to be best friends, but I don't want it to be uncomfortable and I don't want it to be toxic.
Can't help that she's devoted to trying to ruin our life. Yeah, but now I feel I have to defend that because now that has been brought up here.
It's dangerous. It's not right.
She was digging up some information to bring it up at the reunion. She contacted Taylor's husband, John, who's an attorney, to see if there was any legal information out there about Travis's ex-wife, and Gina, and it was going to be her smoking gun to bring it onto the reunion.
That's up because that has to do with her children.
Yes. She told me that you were trying to dig up information prior to the reunion about Travis.
Blame me. I'll take responsibility.
I'm blaming everybody.
I'm so tired of you lying about me. Day 4 of my trip. Tamara Judge is calling me a liar again.
You mentioned to me that you're starting therapy this week.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I mean, I think it's interesting. I want to know, what are your goals with your therapist?
To find out where that anger stems from.
Okay.
That, you know, I grew up with a family that didn't have a lot of empathy or love or whatever. So that I just transpired that on to, you know, my adult life. But after talking and going through everything and my emotions, and I have a hard time with empathy and feeling other people's feelings. It just, and there's a reason why, and I'll share it with you off, but it was just, I literally just, that's why I was 5 minutes late.
That makes a lot of sense.
I haven't even talked to Eddie. Like I haven't even, it's just.
Well, I love you and it doesn't change any of that. And I would say that one of your greatest skills is that you can read people and you have that. And, you know, something I've said publicly and also to you, and, you know, sometimes the filter isn't always there to read how somebody else is going to react. But this is huge that you have this information because now you're aware and it's not a bad thing. You can continue using this to elevate yourself in such a positive way, but also know it's not that you don't have empathy. You're just seeing things in a certain way and that's how you're responding to them.
It's how I process things. That
there are people in my family who have the same exact thing, and it's making me emotional even just thinking about it because there are those similarities. And, you know, we all have our different stuff, but like Tam, I think the biggest thing you need to remember is like, I know no matter what the show or life or anything, like how much you are loved and how much like we appreciate you. And you don't have to change anything about who you are. You just have to be aware, and that's going to be a huge thing for you.
Yeah, there's going to have to be like a lot of huge changes moving forward. But that's certain things. Like she asked me, like, you have really bad social anxiety and you are very much like you say, you know, I just want to be at home. I just want to be at home. And it's because of the anxiety that I have when I talk to people, and how I make it through the show is drinking.
Yeah.
I'll drink, you know, and then all these suppressed shit that's going on within me comes out when I drink because my guard is down.
Yeah.
And
because you're not controlled and you're
I just learned so much stuff. Like the reason why, I don't want to say the reason why because it brings in another person, but I see things very black and white. And when somebody's wrong, I need to expose them. I need to. It's like something inside of me just has to, like, you're lying, you're horrible, because I am a brutally honest person. And honestly, it has to do with not having control in my previous marriage and trauma from
and also
that.
probably your childhood too.
Yeah, I had a pretty good childhood though, that's the thing. So I thought, what do I have to complain about or cry about but it's all of it. It's, my daughter, the situation.
Yeah.
And something happened last night. So it was just like I already had this appointment. But it was the perfect time to go to this appointment. So something big happened last night, not in my marriage, but outside of my marriage. That was just hard, super hard.
And I think that for anybody listening, a lot of people can relate to this conversation because sometimes what you see isn't always what you get.
Yeah.
And, we're all doing the best that we can. And sometimes it's shit and sometimes it's great.
Yeah.
But I think it's a huge testament to you that you're doing the work and wanting to figure out how to make yourself not only feel better, but do better in certain situations that make you feel shitty ultimately.
She's a 1099 employee. She could come back and say, I'm a protected class. But the Lena McSweeney bullshit. Let me go over here. I think it's ridiculous. Tamara Judge is 60 years old, and all of a sudden now she's coming out with being on the spectrum. She's a sociopath liar. Okay, like I don't get it. Right? Can someone help me explain to me? Is that her defense now for her bad behavior? Those ratings, people are sick of Tamara Judge. How can I know Bravo loves her. Bravo and Evolution, they love her. I love cooking with bacon grease. But you're 60 years old, and all of a sudden now you had somebody diagnose you as being on the spectrum. What a crock of bullshit. These psychiatrists, you can get any doctor to say any kind of bullshit you want, okay? After one appointment. Okay, I'm a genius. I'm Mensa now because I went to, come on. Like how stupid is she? On the spectrum? No, you're a sociopath, liar. Come on. You can get a doctor to say and do anything nowadays. It's pathetic. Really. I want to see what doctor she went to because I don't believe in a word she says. I thought she probably got some RN saying that it was a nurse practitioner doctor's note bullshit that probably doesn't even have a PhD saying that she's on the spectrum. Where's the doctor's note? I want to see it because I don't believe a one word Tamara Judge says.
The Tamara of it all. I know obviously people expect to hear what you have to say. And I do want to preface this by saying if you came here to hear us talk crazy crap about it, that's not going to happen. We know that this is I think it's a sensitive situation for those people at home that are impacted by, or, that have someone in their life that is on the spectrum, or parents that, deal with the day-to-day of having a child on the spectrum. And so I want to make it very, very clear that just because, maybe we have feelings on the way that the message was conveyed, there is absolute regard for sensitivity here. And I don't want it to seem like we're just doing fodder because we're here talking about reality TV bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, but at the end of the day, it became a very public thing very quickly. Talk to me about how you feel as a cast member on this show, as someone maybe when she posted it. What was your first thought?
So Tamara right now, 100%, if she was sitting across from me, she's an attention seeker. Her post stated that she's a private person. She doesn't like crowds. Then what is she doing on a reality TV show? So I call bullshit on that, number one. Number two, this whole face thing that she did, her face looks great. It looked great before, but attention again. Now we're going into, she's an asshole this season and last season. And the viewers are not happy with her. I can't imagine Bravo is happy with what's going on. The ratings are dropping, and the Mean Girl stuff, I think is we're all done with it. And so what she does is she decided to go to counseling and therapy. And this therapist over a Zoom call diagnosed her with being on the spectrum. So, you can't diagnose somebody with autism on one Zoom episode. She is a narcissist, and I don't think that is something up for negotiation. She says she wants to be private and quiet. Then why is she revealing her quote unquote medical diagnosis to the world? It's to people to feel sorry for her. I'm out of my mind with her. And she's done it to me. She's done it to Shannon. She's done it to Heather. She's done it to everybody. So it's constant calling people out, making people honest. Who is she to do that? Yeah. And I'm over it. And it was all for attention. And I'm going to say one more thing about it. When the viewers didn't like Brooks and the cast didn't like Brooks, and I thought he was my knight in shining armor. I thought he was my soulmate. I thought we met for a reason. He was a Christian. His parents, are pastors in a church. And I just thought, okay, this is a man of God and he would never hurt me or lie to me, steal from me, cheat. And then come to find out one morning he's shaving. He's like, I didn't tell you yet, but I have non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I'm like, what are you talking about? When did you go? I didn't even know you had a doctor in Orange County. You're from Mississippi. And he goes, well, I got referred from, a friend of mine. And I said, well, what does this mean? He's like, well, I got to go for more testing, but this is what I have, but you're probably too busy to go with me because you always are working. I'm like, well, when's your next appointment? So looked on the calendar. I had a seminar. I'm like, I can't go. And it was always, ironically, when I couldn't go, he was making these doctor's appointments. So as the season went along, I stood by my man. If you tell me, Christian, you're sick, then I believe you. Why would I not believe you? I'm never going to ask you for your medical records on a show or outside of a show. So I was defending my man. What had happened was he was looking for sympathy, whether it's true or not true, never got the real medical records. I was defending him because I couldn't imagine in my wildest dreams anybody faking cancer. So the viewers thought I was in on a cancer scam. And my whole belief and my whole response was, when you're scamming something, you receive something back. Did I open a GoFundMe account? Did I do anything? No, I was defending my man because he told me something that I believed was true. Tamara now is doing, ironically, kind of the same thing. I'm not going to ask for Tamara's medical records. I'm not going to ask for a brain scan as to why she's an asshole. So we're going to believe her. And she's looking for sympathy, and she doesn't have empathy. She already knows that if I'm hurting or Shannon's hurting or anybody's hurting, she'll come after them. That's not autism. That is being an asshole.
The way I was treated by you this season is unacceptable. You attacked me, and I really don't have an interest in being friends with you. Okay. Because what I'm doing in my therapy, I'm creating healthy boundaries. And a healthy boundary is not being in a toxic relationship.
Are you saying that our entire friendship was toxic?
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people, for lack of better words, are saying that you were kind of mean this season to Shannon. And I'm sure you've seen that as well. So I'd love for you to respond.
I mean, I thank God for the reunion so we can clear a lot of this stuff up. There was a lot of stuff, obviously, and I'm sure it's done purposely. Like some things are taken out, but you have to have something to talk about at the reunion, right? And I understand the process. This isn't my first rodeo. But yeah, like you will see, like the very first episode, I go to see if she's okay. I don't hate her. I don't hate this woman. I'm hurt by her. And I go to see if she's okay. And she comes after me and says some horrible things. And then I'm like, you're a horrible person. I don't want to talk to you. And I walk away. But they don't show that middle part of what got me to that.
I felt like the constant calling her an alcoholic was so counterproductive to what the outcome should be. You can't bully someone into not drinking. When you say you need to get the help that you need, we have to let Shannon determine what that help is.
I mean, and I do regret ever calling her an alcoholic. I do regret that. But I was at that point, I was just pushed against the wall. And I'm like, and it's very hard for me knowing, since I've known her and the struggles with alcohol and getting in an accident, getting a DUI and still drinking. I can't wrap my brain around that at all.
Tamara, Christine from Queensland, Australia said, why do you feel mocking and berating Shannon is going to make her stop drinking?
Yeah, no, looking back, obviously that just came from anger. And that was my one thing to go to because I know that it would upset her in that actual argument.
You know what you did, Tamara? You said, I was there every single day after her DUI. No, you weren't.
I was on the phone with you.
So sorry and humiliated and that I disappointed you. Like, what kind of example am I at 59?
We're glad that you're okay and that no one was hurt. and that you take accountability for your actions and you learn from them and you grow.
You said everything happens for a reason. What meaning did you find in all of this for yourself?
Well, I'll tell you, like a lot of people say, why didn't you go to rehab? Because I was offered a lot of free stays, but I chose the place where I went because yes, and I openly admit, often I used alcohol as a coping mechanism many times in my life when there were things going on. And I was doing that. And you can see it in just my face and at the reunion last year. And the DUI happened, right after that. My kids were leaving. It was just a lot of stuff going on. Never an excuse for any of it.
It sucks, but this happened for a reason.
Oh no, God has a plan.
Yeah, he does.
I absolutely believe that.
It seems like you're taking more initiative to figure out why things have happened in your life and like why you keep certain people in your life when they necessarily shouldn't be there.
Yeah, kind of seeing who my true friends are.
When Shannon got the DUI, I was on my way, when it was announced, I was on my way to do Traders. So I was on my way to go to Scotland. We were on the phone, we were crying together. It's hard.
Shannon's DUI is addressed in the premiere, and you reveal, why you chose to leave the Tres Amigas. Were you still willing to be there for Shannon, or was that friendship over to you at that point?
No. So the DUI did not break up our friendship. I was very supportive of Shannon after her DUI for months. If you go back to BravoCon, she did an interview and said that me and Vicky are the ones that have been there for her the most. I was truly always worried for years that something like this was going to happen. I thought it would be a huge wake-up call to her and she would finally stop drinking, but that did not happen. So basically what happened, the reason why Shannon and I are no longer speaking is because of Shannon, not because of me. It was something that she did that I can't really give away. And I eventually just led me to quit Tres Amigas and cut her out of my life. It was a choice I had to do for my own peace of mind to make myself a priority and not her overly dramatic, neurotic behavior affect me anymore. So it was a hard decision, but even saying that, we went on to film. I was worried about her. I was concerned about her. I didn't hate her. I didn't like her behavior. I didn't want to enable that behavior as well. And it has nothing to do with Alexis Bellino. It has nothing to do with Tres Amigas. It had something to do that she was doing behind my back. And I made the choice that I'm not doing this anymore. Not doing it.
Like, when does it stop with you? Everybody feels like they'd rather be by your side than against you.
Oh, okay. So you guys are not my friends.
By the way, I do not feel that way.
No,
and after the reunion,
I had heard you were friends with me only because you were afraid of me.
I never said the only reason I am friends with you is because I'm afraid of you. Why I've never gone against you is because I'm scared of you.
You should be scared of me.
When Tamara came back on the show, Heather and I spent a lot of time together, and we talked a lot about Tamara. And Heather had a lot of negative things to say about Tamara.
That's not true.
It is true.
We had a talk, and I go, listen, we're friends. I can't
asked you at that lunch. I said, "Is that really your girlfriend, Heather?"
And I told you exactly what I'm telling you now.
You said she's a historical friend. She paused, and I said, "Is that really?" You would say that is one of your girlfriends, and you said, Tamara's a historical friend.
By the way, I do not talk like that, first of all.
Do you feel like you ever say too much? Do you feel like you ever go too low? Do you feel like
Of course we all do. I'm not the only one here.
I think you take it lower.
I
You take it much
probably do.
lower.
That's what it's about. You mean like when you got me naked wasted and said you wanted to make me do something stupid, that moral character?
Yeah, exactly.
When you sicked your son on me like that too?
What, Ryan? We sell more in a month than what you stole from the Dodger player. Hey guys.
Hey.
Hey, just walking the streets of New York City.
I love New York.
I know. It's our last night here, then we're gonna go see Julius in
Yeah.
Westchester, New York.
Can't wait to see his farm.
Did you guys watch? I know. Did you guys watch What Happens Live? It was so good with Ekansu last night.
It was awesome.
I will say, I was a little bit tired. I did misspeak a little bit on a couple things. I said that I don't drink, I think I said. What I meant to say is I haven't been drunk since that night.
Yes.
And I didn't mean to say that Ryan stole the money. I meant Vina made more money than what was stolen
Yes.
from the Dodger player. But I didn't mean Ryan, so I apologize for that.
Because like Andy said, you're innocent until proven guilty.
He is. Everybody's innocent
Yeah.
until proven guilty.
So we are just going to walk the streets. We just had an amazing dinner.
Italian. I love the Italian food here in New York.
I know. Having
Tastes so
fun.
60 years ago, I had to sue a public figure for slander and defamation. I won that case, but what I didn't realize was I was not healed. And the reason I realized that is because just 72 hours ago, this same person, a public figure, slandered and defamed a friend of mine. It brought back really bad, unresolved issues of anger and frustration.
And you don't even know us. You said very mean and hurtful things.
The tongue is a flame of fire. I'm going to say one thing. And the second thing is there's no do-overs.
Part of why I'm sitting here today is really for Ryan and for Tamra. I mean, did you not learn? Maybe it's time you stop fucking talking about people.
When you went on a podcast and pretty much talked really mad shit about me, but not only me, you talked about me as a mom, you talked about Eddie as a businessman. Why?
I feel I'm validated in everything I said.
He talked shit about you?
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
What did he say?
You said you were in my backyard for a barbecue.
Yeah.
And you said one of my friends came up to you and said,
Okay, so
hey,
that was
watch
an
out for
exaggeration.
Ryan. He goes out for married women. Is
Yeah.
that what was told to you?
That's exactly what happened.
It absolutely didn't happen.
It absolutely happened.
You've hurt a lot of people's lives. You've destroyed a lot of lives. And it's time. You know, I don't have any problem saying that. And the personal attacks, I'm not personally attacking you. I'm just telling you my opinion.
I do like that Jennifer Aiden, and she cracks me up. I think she is so good on the show.
Yeah,
she's
she's
so
so funny. Well, I didn't know about it. Jennifer just told me about it. Of course, like Tamara says something about Jennifer Aiden, and again, Jennifer Aiden, she don't hold back. Like, you know, she comes right back at you, and she's very, you know, she's smart, witty. She'll come, you know, right back at you. So that's what I mean. If you dish it out, then I guess you have to take
That's
it.
the problem with Tamara. She can dish it out, but she can't take it. That's her
Right.
problem.
And
That's
I
her
think,
problem.
yeah, like
She's the biggest bully about anyone, that Tamara. She's the biggest bully. She's a sociopath. Like I can't.
I mean, she's like said stuff about me, and I'm like, I go back and forth with her, and then she makes up with me, and then she says something again about me, and I'm like, what are you doing? You know? And it's like I've never said anything negative about her, you know. And I could, you know, obviously there's so many things out there that I could. I'm not gonna jump on her train and like do what she
She's an
does.
awful person. I can't stand her.
You are saying I'm the queen of mean based on a TV show. And you, as my predecessor, should know better than anybody that could be maybe a little manipulated, maybe exaggerated. She's mean intentionally on her podcast.
Yeah.
Over and over again to people deliberately.
It's like not just a show. It's like this is you in real life on your podcast, just like going after people all day.
Tamara and Teddy were talking about us on their podcast.
Tamara said, I reached out to Kiki Monique. And Teddy was like, oh, what about Sheena? And then Tamara was like, no, I come out one day, I turn my phone on and I'm seeing these DMs come in from Tamara. And she was like, were you just hosting radio, Andy? I said, no. I said, I'm at the Tom Girardi trial. I said, like, why? And she goes, were you hosting when someone called in and called Alexis a whore and told me and said that I was a piece of shit? I said, I'm not hosting. I'm at this trial. And she's like, I was so mad. I contacted Andy because I'm just, and so I was like, then I was like, what? Are you trying to get us fired from our jobs? I'm like, what is happening? I said, it wasn't me, but I said, in the future, like if I ever piss you off, can you come to me first without trying to get me fired? Because I really need my job.
The one person that I wouldn't really enjoy being around anymore is Tamara. I mean, I think everybody knows that about me and her relationship. For me personally, she just was too much of like a pot stirrer.
It did seem like you said a number of times.
I did.
We're going to get Gretchen
3 to be
wasted.
exact.
We're going to get Gretchen wasted. It did seem premeditated.
Yeah.
So why did you want to embarrass her?
I guess I'm a mean drunk.
And she just, made up lies and manipulated things. And I don't like that. Like, I just think that it shouldn't be like that. You know what I mean?
Right. You guys, she also, Slade and her didn't hit it off either.
The question I have is why does everyone think they know about what goes on in my life?
because you don't know.
Okay. Well, it's so funny because Michelle called me yesterday.
Who's Michelle? Michelle is Grayson's mother. She says you called her fishing for information.
Yeah, but that's my point. I mean, there was just a lot of lies and a lot of fabrication that was said about him and I, and you know, that's just a really hard thing. Like all the other girls, honestly, every other person that I've ever filmed with, I could film with again. I don't have issues with any of them. But her in particular, like she literally was just doing things behind the scenes that I found out about later.
Okay, well, let me explain something.
That is such a
You've
lie.
never met her, Tamara?
I have a mutual friend in my real estate office.
She reached out to me.
For what purpose?
Because she's not here to speak for herself.
Oh, so
That's
now
why.
you're on a campaign
Oh,
to
so
talk
now you're on a campaign.
No, I
somebody
feel
that's
sorry
not your
for the
friend,
woman. I'm
somebody
sorry.
that you don't
She's
know.
a single mom with taking care of a kid every single day.
You trying to make him and I look bad.
You know, that kind of stuff, I don't really jive with that. I'm just a very straightforward person, and it's like, I just, you know, I don't know.
What I will say is, you are definitely fierce. And when we piss you off, you throw venom.
I am not going to deny that.
And that
Okay.
is
I've never
scary.
denied
All right,
that.
well then don't
Yeah.
be defensive when
Yeah.
she's pointing it out.
No, but okay.
Right.
You go to a different level than any of us go to. At some point, Tamara, it hurts.
I could never do what you are doing right now, filming in this situation.
And it is not easier
You made the
for
choice,
me.
Alexis.
So did you. You could have easily not
this is my
signed your
job,
contract.
and I've been here
and
for
this
10
is
years.
my job too.
I took your
This
job
was
10
my
years
job.
ago. I'm still sitting here.
Do you remember your first day of filming?
Yeah. Yeah. A lot. But I was so tense and so nervous. They started with the, let's introduce Alexis. So I had to do the sit down interview. And it is a one-on-one when you have a whole camera crew in your living room. And I was so nervous. And they knew I had a personality. They knew I had some fun in me, right? But I think I was sitting kind of like, okay, yes. They were like, just loosen up a little. After like the third interview, then you just get used to it, and you really do kind of forget that there's a film crew in your house watching you do everything.
I've been on TV for 15 years, Shannon, 5 different shows, okay?
Oh, you're a TV star.
You know what, Shannon? I didn't say star.
You are
been on for 15 years. Thank you.
15-year
Many
television.
TV shows.
Heather, let's pull up her IMDb.
Oh my gosh, you guys, we have a special guest on the podcast today, not here in the flesh, but via the phone, Alexis Bellino from Real Housewives of Orange County. I loved her so much. She is now on Marriage Boot Camp, not with Jim Bellino, her ex, who we saw her on Real Housewives, like duking it out with sometimes. She's on Marriage Boot Camp with Aaron Carter, but not with him, but with Penelope, her mom. How's it going?
Really well. How are you?
Oh, we're great. We're so excited to talk to you today and so excited to catch up on everything Marriage Boot Camp with you.
Yeah, it's fun. Let's talk.
Why did you and your mom, Penelope, go on this season? What was really requiring work between you two?
Well, for me, some of it was totally selfish because I had, just had another relationship that failed with my ex. And so I wanted to just work on myself and mending any relationship really that was, in any little turmoil, just because I think that's what you do when you try to become a better person. And so my mom and I definitely suffered from some communication issues from both of our pasts. And it was just time. It was the perfect opportunity for me to, I actually probably shouldn't have done it since my divorce was only 3 months new. And so I was in a really, very just fragile state at that point. So you do see a more emotional, heightened Alexis than would normally have been, just because of the divorce. But it was the time for my mom and I to just hash it out.
Did you ever consider going on a show like this with Jim or anything like that, or did not come across your desk?
We had been offered to go on. I was willing to go. Jim was not. So it takes two to tango. And so there you have it.
I don't want to talk about you anymore. Get married. Congratulations. You guys are perfect for each other.
You are obsessed with John and I. Why does his name ever come out of your mouth? You don't need to talk about him.
Well,
if you're so okay with it, why does his name come out?
Then...
It was about his teeth and it was about his bad knees that he couldn't walk up the stairs. We did forensic accounting. You did not pay for everything. We have the numbers. So if you would like to bring yours, I have the numbers.
And we'll compare my numbers with John's numbers.
What's the biggest way you've been disparaged, do you think?
I don't want to get into those details,
All of them.
but
Okay.
it's, I mean, she pays for everything. I mean, and she's my sugar mama. That could be further from the truth. And that was damaging to me.
John spent $350,000 on the relationship before he even paid the $75,000 in loans.
Then
while
why
they were even broken
why
up.
didn't he sue her for more if he spent that much?
He only wants the loan back. He's not gonna tit for tat for what he bought.
Why didn't he take the offer? When I offered him the money, why didn't he take it?
You did not, and that is the part. Another lie.
How does that work? Did you get a phone call from John?
Wasn't it when you were on the plane? When we were leaving St. Louis? Isn't that when this all happened?
No, well, I mean, it was about a month ago. I got a letter saying you need to come up with a payment plan to pay this money back. And so it culminated with me realizing that attorney's fees were going to surpass the amount of money he was seeking. And
regardless of whether you are innocent or guilty or yes, okay.
Because I've been down that road before. I lost a lot of money in legal fees. So I also know the mental anguish that goes along with a lawsuit. So yes. Even though it's not warranted, I offered to pay John the exact amount that he wanted. But he turned the deal down because he didn't want to sign a mutual non-disparagement agreement. And that's standard in most settlements. And that's where you say you're not going to talk badly about someone. So
he wouldn't agree to that.
No.
But he's a private person.
It's frustrating because now my hands are tied.
Christian in Thousand Oaks, California said, Heather, last year you thought John just wanted to be in the spotlight. Do you still feel that way since he is again dating someone on camera this season?
Do I think he wants to be in the spotlight? Yes, I do think he wants to be in the spotlight.
It's clear.
Well, the engagement is stronger than ever, and our relationship is stronger than ever. And I think in part it's due to the negativity. It's just brought us closer, and it's also shown us that we can pretty much make it through anything if we can make it through everything we've been through already in 9 months. But it has been really difficult, and I didn't expect it so much. I knew I was going to be the villain, and I was strong enough and felt okay doing that, because it's like, how can the younger new girlfriend come into a group where the ex is there and has been there for 10 years in that group and not be the bad guy? And I was okay with that, and I was comfortable in that because of my love for John. I didn't expect it to be the level of hate that John and I have received. And it's honestly, we could handle it because we're adults and we're strong. It's now bleeding over into our children, and it's enough is enough, and it needs to stop. A whole new mama bear and a whole new papa bear come out when it's children involved, because we, like I said, we can handle it for ourselves. We know what this career entails. Definitely didn't know the level of hate that a couple would get just for falling in love and telling the truth, which is really where the hate is coming from. But now that our children are involved, it's a whole new thing we're dealing with, and enough's enough, and it's got to stop. It's our children. Like, everybody needs to back off.
Sure. Is it making you not want to maybe come back for another season?
There's a lot of things in play with any decision if I would want to come back again next season. That definitely plays into it. I don't think anybody wants to walk into an environment where pretty much 100% of the comments are hate comments.
I want to ask Jen a question.
Yeah, ask, because
okay,
I want to know what the question is.
When you're referring to Tamara, you will put things like, I don't subscribe to mean girl behavior. Yep. Yeah, you do, because you're friends with this. So and to me, this is the ultimate mean girl.
And, and on top of all this, she's dealing with the whole John, Alexis. When you found out that Tamara was liking those Instagram photos of Alexis and John and commenting on it, Did that make any sense to you?
No, I was like, God, what is she, wow, what is she doing?
Yeah.
That's got to be a punch in the gut to Shannon. And you know what, Tamara and I had conversations about that as well. And it was, look, she knows Alexis. Tamara and Alexis had made amends and put a lot of stuff behind them in the past. And so I think that was Tamara trying to move forward with Alexis.
Why aren't you addressing that
I'm going to get to them.
Tamara?
I have the whole time I was sitting here. Did I not?
Yes,
the entire time.
Yes. I had a conversation.
I said,
with
how
Jen.
are you friends
We have
with this
talked
woman?
about this. I have told Jen, if I saw someone treating you the way that I've been treated, I wouldn't be friends with them. But that's your choice.
But can I say the flip side of that? I just met Alexis.
And personally, I can tell you, sitting in the spot of Shannon and Alexis is hard because I got to meet Alexis this season as well, and I like her.
Yeah.
I like her. And it's very hard to be in the middle of Shannon and Alexis.
Yeah. Did you find by the end of the season that you had to pick a side? Did either one of them ever put you in that position?
No, and I hope they don't. Because their problems are not my problems. I can be sympathetic and empathetic to it. I can't imagine for Shannon what it must be like filming with her ex's new person, and I can't imagine for Alexis. And then you add legal issues. So I understand that it's hard, but I love them both as women, and I hope they allow me to stay in that position.
Yeah, it was hard, like in this episode, to watch Alexis kind of talk so openly about her relationship with John in front of, in earshot of Shannon. Do you feel like she was almost doing that on purpose?
Come on, Alexis is a little bit in Alexis's world.
Okay.
And I really don't think she has a mean intention ever.
Okay.
But come on, read the room, baby. Like, we don't need to hear, Shannon for sure doesn't need to hear about sexual things or the new ring or all the, all the things that John and Alexis are up to. I don't know if Alexis does that intentionally. I think she's just Alexis.
Come in.
Coming.
Okay, good. I didn't want to get up. Sorry.
That's all right.
Hi, puppy.
Hi.
This is your new puppy? Hi, guys.
Well,
Hi.
Cute.
Haven't we seen you so soon? You missed us, though, right?
Yeah. Have a seat. Oh, wait, we have questions for you.
Okay.
Okay, the night at dinner after the finale.
Emily wants to know what happened.
Alexis claims to have these videos of Shannon that John took the night of her DUI. Have you seen them? What can
let
you
me
say
clarify that. John didn't take these videos. These are Ring camera footage. So it's not like she's acting up and he took his camera out. That's not what it was. So he has security cameras inside his house and Ring cameras on the outside, and they captured her showing up to the house and what went down. And there's a bunch of videos. It's not just one night, it's years.
I wanted to talk to you woman to woman. It just seems like it's getting dirty and it's getting salacious and it's getting mean.
There's nothing mean on our side, or the videos would be out already, wouldn't they?
He said you hit him. Yeah, I've heard that he says I punched him, but I don't remember everything. I don't know what I did that night. Everyone's saying that I punched him.
The bottom line is, Shannon, you were having a really difficult time. And then when you have alcohol, things get mixed up in your head and you make bad decisions.
When you see Shannon breaking down over these videos, do you ever have any regret about bringing up the fact that they exist?
Yes, I wish I hadn't. It was a very knee-jerk reaction. I was emotional, and I was kind of, what you don't see in that scene is I was a little frustrated at the women who are my friends, but they were bringing up Shannon a lot and talking about John a lot and asking a lot of questions, and I don't want to mention them. Like, I'm with the guy all the time. I don't need to talk about him all day too. But it does make it look like I do because they're asking me questions, and then that's what you see. So I just snapped, and I shouldn't have, and they were never meant to be brought into this public forum at all.
Being friends with Alexis was never to get back at you. I was sitting right across from her, and I told her during the break that I could see that you were feeling so horrible.
I think when Alexis was talking,
The friends with benefits, like he didn't
we were
care.
locking eyes, and it was a lot.
She feels bad for me.
I do.
You just, like, when you saw those videos about John, like, the stuff that he just said in those videos.
That was hard to watch.
Really difficult. Like, I was squeezing Gina's hand so hard, I started to get sweaty.
And she was doing what during that?
She was acknowledging it. She gave me looks and said, like, you gave me look. I know your looks, so I appreciate it. I'm going to give you a hug right now because it's just easy to do.
You're going to make me cry.
I mean, clearly we have a lot to discuss, but I'm happy that you and I are here right now and that that's on the agenda.
Ew. Like JK, but like maybe not. But thank you for watching. But you hating ass bitches always have something to say. Hating ass bitch, but you're still watching my vids. What? 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 You're so upset. But that's like okay, because have a piece of bread, have a Xanax, relax, because I said what I said.